Hey, I'm Frank.
And I'm Leslie.
And we are on board our Nordhavn 62. In our last video, we did the survey and sea trial. And now as you can see, we've decided to go ahead. So we're up in the pilot house and we thought we'd give you a little chat about who we are, how we got here, and why we made a decision to buy this boat. Originally, Leslie and I are from Rhodesia, now called Zimbabwe. We met many years ago. Why don't you say a few words about it, Les?
We were introduced by a mutual friend in 1974, and I lived in a farming community called Kariwa. Frank lived in a resort town called Kariwa, which is way in the north of the country. And at the time, as 15-year-olds, because he lived in one town and I lived in another town, we couldn't really be together and have a relationship, so we parted company for about 35 years.
Yeah, well, we gave it a shot for 6 months, but Kariwa wasn't just a resort town, it was also a hydroelectric power station putting out most of the electricity for Rhodesia and Zambia. But yeah, it was the Riviera of Southern Africa at the time, and still is a very beautiful place. We named the boat Kariwa, which is the Batonka tribe name for Kariwa, and it means trap because when the dam was built, it trapped the waters of the Zambezi River, and the Batonka tribe were forced to relocate. The logo on the boat is that of
Nyaminyami, the river god of the Zambezi.
And the Nyaminyami, as Leslie says, is the river god, the Batonka river god of the Zambezi. And the Batonkas warned the builders that there would be a great disaster. And sure enough, there were several floods during the time that they were trying to build the dam. Anyway, the boat is named Kariwa, and our logo is Nyaminyami. So, that's about us. How did we get here? How did we end up buying a boat? Well, 2020 was quite a year for us, as it was for many other people. I was living in Hong Kong. Leslie was commuting there while she got enough time for her citizenship in the US. And we had a Lagoon 46 sailboat in Hong Kong. An idea before this COVID was that we were going to sail from there. But of course, from March 2020, everything changed. And it put a lot of strain on trying to live a normal life, especially for Leslie.
I was having to commute to Hong Kong. It's like 27 hours to get to Hong Kong from here. And then sitting around at the airport for 12 hours waiting for your COVID test results, followed by 14 days locked up in a hotel room. And then only 3 or 4 weeks of freedom in Hong Kong before I had to come back to the States. And I did that 3 or 4 times. It was quite stressful.
Yeah, and it was not normal. And of course, only I stayed in Hong Kong. I couldn't really travel, and during that time, Hong Kong also changed immeasurably with the security law, and Hong Kong changing to really just a prison of Chinese desires, and it made it very difficult for me to continue. And things really took a turn in December of 2020 when Hong Kong decided that quarantine would go up to 3 weeks.
Yeah, so spending 2 weeks in a hotel room alone is hard. And the thought of spending 3 weeks each time was just too much. Just too much. Frank said, nope, not happening.
So I resigned, and to be honest, the time was just right. The time was to come home and really take a look at life, rather than just being on the corporate treadmill. Especially in Hong Kong, where it wasn't the same place as when I'd lived there previously. We had many discussions after I came back in January of 2021 about RV or boat. Still wanted to explore. The great thing was, of course, in the US we were able to explore, but we had a lot of discussions, and I think we actually started on RVs.
We actually went to look at 1 or 2 RVs.
and then we decided, okay, we're still young enough to do the boating. For me, with a seafaring background and a whole career in maritime, it was much easier. Leslie was a greenie, and she's been a greenie on the boat as well.
A few times. It's quite uncomfortable out there.
But she's a trooper. I like to call her my rock diamond. She's a diamond as a person, and she's a rock because she's a South African or Afrikaner. But she's been a real trooper. So the boat's given us an opportunity to, for me anyway, to disconnect from the corporate world. And while I continue to do occasional consultancies for startups and promote seafarers' welfare, we are pretty much off the grid and enjoying life on board the boat.
And it's been great. It has a few challenges, but we're getting used to it. We're getting the hang of provisioning, rationing water to a degree.
Rationing water? Okay.
Well, we have a water maker.
She can't have a bath every 3 hours. Yeah.
3 hours. 3 hours. For 3 hours, yes.
That's true. I think, I mean, as somebody said to me earlier today, in this life, the highs are really high, but the lows can be pretty low as well. So it's a larger roller coaster, but it's a lot of fun, and we've met a lot of cool people already.
That's the thing with boating, is you meet nice people. The problem is it's fleeting. You say hello, and a couple of days later, either they've left or you've left, and there go your friends.
Yeah, we did spend a good week in Marathon with zombies.
Zombies can't swim.
Zombies can't swim. Hello, zombies can't swim. Anyway, that's the brief introduction of how we got here and who we are. And we thought what we'd do now is give you a brief tour of the boat. We'll probably do more in-depth videos as we progress, but we'll do a quick run through of the accommodation and the boat. There are lots of videos out there about Nordhavns, and James Knight of Yacht Tech has done an extensive video on 62s. It's his favorite boat. Of course. But I'll tell you why I ended up choosing a Nordhavn 62. All boats are a compromise. Size, cost, speed, comfort. It's just like sailors with monos and catamarans. The war rages on. But for me, with a seafaring background and having studied stability and all the other things, the things I looked at was block coefficient, hull form, displacement, righting moments, quarter seas performance, the build of the boat, the strength of the boat. And the N62, the Nordhavn 62, fills all of those areas of naval architecture in an ocean going better than most, particularly for a vessel of her size. I'm not going to comment on other boats. All I can say is that I love the hull form of this boat. I love how she looks. I also love how she rides in the seas. We've already had some experience of reasonable seas. But I love the beam of the boat, the cruiser stern, the keel shape, the full, keel. The lack of a flybridge for me is a huge plus, and I love her bulbous bow. Yes, she's an older boat, but as I said, a lot of time, effort, love, and engineering has gone into keeping her up to date. And I have to thank the other owners, and particularly the last owner, for that as well. And she's been a lot of places because one of the previous owners has taken her around the world. So as a master mariner, I feel extremely privileged to be able to be the owner of Kariwa 6204.
And I'm proud to be
the admiral.
the admiral of this boat.
Yeah. So this is the pilot house of our Nordhavn 6204, and as you can see, it's got a lot of space and it's pretty well laid out. Good stead chair in the middle, really comfortable area to sit at the back, easily seats 5, and also a small bunk for people to lie on at night. I'd like to briefly just show you the equipment. We'll go in more detail later. Here we've got 2 new GPSs, an AIS, a VHF. Over there is the generator start, the hydraulic system control panel. Moving here, we have the main engine dials, the 2 AP70 autopilots, and then 3 monitors, all touchscreen, one running on Microsoft and the other a Furuno black box system, where we're able to interswitch between charts, radar, sounder, and engine room cameras. It's really quite good setup, and it works extremely well. Then over here we have the stabilizer dials and the wing engine controls for the Get You Home engine, and also the engine that helps power the hydraulics when you're in maneuvering. We also have port and starboard bridge wing controls for maneuvering, and if you come round and look down onto the main deck, you'll see our 13-foot dinghy with a 60 horsepower engine and the hydraulically driven davit capable of lifting that dinghy into the water. It's a large clear deck which I really like. Behind the pilot house is a nice seating area with 2 chairs and then 2 aft facing seats which can help us accommodate 6 to 8 people at the back. This is the open stack leading up from the engine room for the funnel.
So here we have the main salon of the boat. It's a lovely wide space, which is kind of one of the reasons why we really were attracted to this boat, in that we have so much room. Over here we have the television, some easy chairs, a couple of bar stools, and here's the galley, a lovely big galley, so much better than the galley we had previously. Microwave, oven, all storage space around the top, 2 refrigerators, 2 freezers, We have a full-size dishwasher, a lot of storage, drawer space for all the cutlery.
These are the stairs that go up to the pilot house, and then coming here past the galley are the stairs that go down into the companionway, as James Knight tells me it is. For me it's an alleyway, to where all of the cabins are.
Here we have the master suite with an ensuite shower and head. This is the port side suite, double bed with an ensuite shower and head.
As we move further forwards, we come to the double bunk room, which has become the storage room, while we still figure out, again, an ensuite shower and head attached. And then moving to the very bow of the boat, we have
another cabin with a double bed and again ensuite shower and head.
The door to the engine room on the Nordhavn 62 is right next to the door into the master cabin. The engine room on Kariwa is very clean. There's a little bit of work going on over there, hence some stuff on the deck plates, but with a fully rebuilt engine. And over here you have the chillers for the air conditioning, and then the Raycor filters for the different engines. Turning around here is the fuel manifold, the diesel fuel manifold. If you come around again and then across over onto the port side, you can see the generator, the toolbox, and then the brand new generator, and moving aft, the new water maker. And over here on the port corner is the hydraulic generator. Over there is the ABT bow thruster box. I'll be doing a more in-depth look at the engine room as we move forwards, but while the headroom in here is about 5 foot at the highest, and people commented that you can't walk upright, it didn't actually bother me. Although I'm just over 6 foot, you spend most of your time sitting down working on things anyway, so it actually doesn't matter to me that much. And to be perfectly honest, it's one of the compromises that I was prepared to make for all the reasons that I gave earlier on about why a Nordhavn 62. The aft cockpit area of the boat is a useful space. Unlike the older 62s, we only have a swim platform and we don't have a bustle. Frankly, I am quite pleased about that. I think it compromises the shape and the seakeeping of the boat. The alleyway is just enough to get between forward and aft, and here is the step ashore on the starboard side. This is the profile of the Nordhavn 62 Kariwa from the starboard quarter, well tied up alongside in loggerhead. And so that's the short tour of our boat and the reasons why we bought it, where we're from and who we are. Please subscribe and like.
And we'll see you for the next video. Thank you for watching.